Welcome back to Zevo Talks. I'm your host, Aisling. I get to talk to risk takers, thought leaders, and great people making change. In today's episode, we are speaking with a young Irish entrepreneur, Seamus Tighe. He's the founder of Everest Snacks and has led the way in introducing healthy snacks to the Irish market that are affordable. So hello, Seamus.
Hey.
Thank you very much for joining us, and you're very welcome to Zevo Talks today. Could you start off by telling us what Everest Snacks are for anyone who doesn't know?
Okay, so basically we're a healthy snacking company. We produce a range of high quality granola cups. It's a granola with yogurt, porridge cups and protein snack bars. And we're going to be expanding our range into more healthy snacking products in the next year or so.
Lovely. And can you tell us how Everest Snacks came about, so how you started?
Yeah, so just from playing sport and training my whole life, it sort of had an interest in eating healthy and things like that. And then I got the opportunity to get a contract for a coffee chain to make all their sandwiches, soups, salads, the lot, and that went well. We got the trial. We got a trial with them basically for 8 weeks in Dublin Airport for Terminal 1, and it went well. So then we got all their cafes. So then they wanted a healthy breakfast option for their on-the-go sort of breakfast person in the morning, that was getting on the planes and shooting off. They didn't have much time to hang around with, so we did a bit of research, and we came across like granola cups, that they served a lot of them in the airports in London and New York, etc. So we went around getting a high quality granola cup with a Greek style yogurt, and they started flying out of the Terminal 1. We were selling 50 of them a day, and then we sort of realised that there was nothing on the retail market like that. So we went about sort of seeing how we could get it set up and manufacture it at a scale. So that's sort of how it started. And then we came across the Supervalu Food Academy, and that was the start of it then.
And can you tell us more then about the Supervalu Food Academy and kind of what that programme is like?
Yeah, no, so it's really good. You have to go and pitch in front of sort of the buyers to get into it, and I sort of put the idea across of the Everest granola cups, and I brought samples with me, but we had no branding or proper packaging or anything at the time. It was just sort of a product in a sort of clear cup, and I put my idea of where I wanted to get the company to and blah blah blah. And the guys accepted it, they liked it, and then you basically go into sort of, it's nearly like a crash course in retail, and how it all works. There's so much to it that like people who weren't involved in the business wouldn't really know about, like even learning about SKUs, KPIs, the whole lot, SRPs, everything, delivery into their depot, the whole lot. It was a brilliant course, and I suppose without it, it would be nearly impossible to learn about that side of the business without getting a job in it before. Yeah.
And was it there then that you, like, did you already have the name Everest?
I didn't actually at the time. I just pitched the idea, and then I sort of they said, oh God, we like your product, it's great. So that was in June, and I think they said, right, you're going into stores in September. So I was like, oh God. So
Quick turnaround.
Yeah, it was a bit of a scramble.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, eventually came up with the name, and Everest sort of came from the sort of peak, sort of summit, high quality foods. It's sort of the highest you could get to, I suppose. That's sort of where it came from. Yeah, then I came across Dave Kern Design on Clonwilliam Terrace. Actually, through the Food Academy, they put me in touch with him. He helped us come up with the brand, the packaging. It was just, once we got that sorted, then it was about sourcing, all the packaging, then manufacturing and getting all that done. It was crazy thinking back at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we started off in 10 shops, delivering with a van, and then basically that was called a local listing, and then we got a Dublin listing because the products were selling well. Then we got a regional listing, which was like Leinster, and then eventually, I think, that started in September. Then by May, we had we'd pretty much got nationwide distribution. So then we got accepted in to go through the warehouse with Musgraves, and that was brilliant. It really kicked us on to the next level. Then it was learning how to pull the product through to make sure when it's delivered, you deliver through their central warehouse, and then it's delivered to stores by Musgraves. But you have to get reps in there and stuff like that to make sure that the product's put on shelf and everything like that. So learning about that was good as well. Sort of brought us to the next level.
And was it always your ambition to have your own business?
I always wanted to have my own business. I suppose my parents, my dad would have had his own accountancy practice and was involved in in a number of different businesses. And I suppose just growing up looking at that probably made me want to get involved in my own business. Yeah, sort of from a young age.
And do you think that maybe coming from kind of a family that was entrepreneurial gave you a benefit? Like you could ask them for help or questions or advice?
Yeah, 100%. It's always been good to have someone that you could ask questions to or get some advice off. And then I was put in touch with some really good people at the start of our journey with the Food Academy and stuff like that, so I could always ring them up and ask for advice. Tighe O'Donovan was one of them, and Tighe sort of was working with us from the start, and he was a great help. Yeah, he was fantastic, and without him, like, it would have been very hard for us because we had no industry experience or anything like that, and you're dealing with experts like the best people in the business, and we didn't have an idea about it, but we learnt, and with talking to people like Tighe and then getting business advice, say, off my family and other people like that, friends, etc. It was invaluable.
Yeah.
I suppose, yeah, if you can't ask for help when you don't know what you're doing, it would be very hard. Yeah.
And does your motivation come from the desire to be your own boss or to make healthy, affordable snacks?
It's actually both, I suppose. As I was telling you, I sort of always had an interest in healthy eating and getting good products to the market. And then I suppose, yeah, business is something that, like, I'm very interested in general. So it would be both. I like obviously working for myself, but then definitely food and healthy eating is something that I'm really passionate about as well. And so is our company. Like, we want to just keep launching products and getting them to market to grow the brand and grow our customer base.
And in terms of product and expansion, with kind of more people focusing in on dairy-free and vegan and that kind of thing, is that a route that you might go down?
Yeah, definitely. We're going to be adding to our range. Maybe definitely bringing out some vegan options. One of our bars is the hazelnut and dark chocolate bar is vegan friendly. But I think we have to cater for that because it's such a growing category now at the moment. It's really grown legs, like the vegan movement. So yeah, we definitely have to cater to that, and we'll be releasing products that are vegan friendly in probably the next couple of months. Yeah.
If you weren't doing this, what do you think that you would be doing?
I suppose I don't know, like, I have a strong interest in sort of building and things like that, yeah, so I probably would have gone into the construction sector at some point, but I think that food is something as well I've always been passionate about, so maybe something along the lines of restaurants or cafes, things like that, always something that would have really interested me. Food, healthy living, maybe something along the lines of that, yeah, definitely I would still be in this sort of place, I think, yeah.
And then something that we've asked all of our guests, and I guess it's important to you as well because you run a business, is how do you look after your own well-being?
So I suppose, yeah, there'd be a lot of pressure owning your own business. It's true what people say, like, it doesn't really leave you alone, like, so you will be thinking about it when you're off and things like that, and so yeah, it's probably important that you know how to unwind. I try to get to the gym every day, and if I can't do that, then I'll go for a run. And I suppose if I don't do that, I feel like a different person really. So I think training and eating healthy is so important as well. Like you feel so much better in yourself. Training and playing Gaelic football, things like that, would be how I'd sort of look after my own well-being. I suppose talking to friends as well and things like that. If you keep it all bottled up, and it can get very frustrating, and it can feel like a lonely place sometimes when you see like all your friends that work in companies that they can take like 2-3 week holidays and they're off doing this and that. And I suppose I haven't really had a holiday longer than 4 or 5 days in 4 or 5 years. That can be sort of frustrating and things like that. So, but I suppose as you get older, you learn, and I think it's just important to take time out and talk to people and do your training, look after yourself, take yourself away from it for a while.
We've done some work with some social media influencers. So what is your own thoughts on social media? What kind of impact do you think that it has in terms of maybe business, and then maybe we can look at the mental health side as well?
Yeah, no, it's a huge factor in in every aspect of life now. Sure, the amount of people, like, you just come home from work and you'll be scrolling on your phone. I think I read something there a while ago, was that the average 25-year-old scrolls like 50 feet a day or something like that on their phone. I could be wrong now on that, but it was some crazy figure like that. But like, yeah, say for example, our brand ambassador with Everest is Niamh Cullen, and Niamh's actually, she's brilliant to work with, and she's a great role model for like young girls and lads, and she's just brilliant because she's really into the health and fitness. So it's a perfect match for our brand. But like the power that she commands through her following is it's mad. And it's just, it's, I think you need to be careful though as well as a company starting off, that you don't run up these costs spending so much money on social media and stuff like that. Probably distribution and getting your product out there is probably the most important thing, and then obviously having then brand ambassadors, etc., to back that up is good, but you can't put the cart before the horse. Yeah.
And how do you think that social media has an effect on your own life? Do you use it much, or?
Yeah, I suppose it can drive people mad, like when you see, like, it can give you fear of missing out, things like that. And I suppose it's good to try use it as a positive tool rather than sort of making you think these unrealistic things. I suppose people always say they look at bloggers, etc., like that, and they see them living these lives, and they want to be like that. And
it's like the comparison kind of factor of it,
Exactly, yeah. And I think that's what drives people mad, mostly. Trying to achieve those sort of things when they're not, say, real as such. Like their day-to-day lives aren't really like that. They're just pictures or stories. So I think people need to realise that, and if they don't, you could drive yourself crazy trying to do these things, buy these things. And I definitely see how it can have a negative impact on people's mental health. But then there'll be people on it as well that can inspire people and really have positive impacts on people's lives. I'm sure you probably know loads of positive things that like people see.
I think there's been like a kind of a change in terms of like what I see based off of people that I've followed and unfollowed. So I think it's our own responsibility to unfollow accounts that have a negative impact on us. And if we're constantly looking at someone being like, I wish I had their life, that's something that I need to obviously take responsibility and say, well, I need to not follow them anymore. So I think we all have our own responsibility to do that in order to change kind of our thoughts and stuff. So
yeah, I'd be on my phone pretty much the whole day between work and basically, like, I do a lot of my work on my phone, just calling people, sending emails. But then, like, say if you're talking to, like, say your parents or whatever, you can be sending emails on your phone or doing work things, but people just think you're texting or they think you're not paying attention to them or whatever like that. But it's so important to try actually put it away for a while and live your life normally. But because it can, like, and another thing is as well, emails, people expect nearly like a rapid response now because everyone knows that like you have access to it like that.
Yeah.
But like no one, 5-10 years ago, people weren't like that. And Finland bringing in the 4-day working week.
Or 6-day working day, which sounds great. That because they knew, right, say the Friday was the day off that they had Monday to Thursday, they had to get everything done in that time frame, that they just worked more efficiently and that they were more productive with their time, and they prioritised things with tighter deadlines and stuff. I think that eventually I think especially being a millennial and the generation that's coming up next into the workforce, I almost think that a 4-day work week is going to be what they expect, because I just think that they've a completely different mindset of how things should work, and the benefits that even companies offer now are so much more, and they're more important to a person looking for work than they were years and years ago. Like, you just wanted a job. It didn't matter if you got your gym membership paid for or if you got like free lunch or whatever it was. I think the benefits now and that kind of thing are more, you want to attract more people to work for you, and like the best kind of people. So a 4-day work week would definitely be something I think that would attract a lot of people and good working people as well.
And I suppose technology makes everything so much quicker, so possibly you could get everything done in 4 days. And I think that's actually a good point that you made, that if people know that they're just in Monday to Thursday and they have to get this done by then, it's probably stricter deadlines, etc. It probably would work. Yeah, I suppose.
We have you on record now.
No. The benefits that the tech companies are offering now is they're incredible.
So within your own company then, how do you practice wellness, and what kind of do your staff do to practice wellness?
I think it's actually probably a big issue for small companies starting off, that they don't have the resources to help all their employees and things like that compared to larger companies. So it's something that we need to look into more to try help our employees and with their wellness and everything like that. But I know everyone that works with Everest they're fit and healthy and they do their own training and stuff like that. But there's definitely more we can do as a company to like build the team and morale and everything like that, because we're just so busy all the time. It's go, and we don't take time to do these sort of things. But I suppose it's important to step back and try and improve that. So it's one of our goals for 2020 to improve the team spirit and wellness in the company, and hopefully we'll get there.
Yeah, I think startups, it's all about the grind, kind of. Yeah, you're trying to build into you're growing and that kind of thing. It's like the growing pains. It's probably the last on your list at the moment.
Yeah, but I suppose if everyone was,
if you noticed a morale dip and in that kind of thing, I suppose. But I guess once you're conscious of it, it's always good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like starting up a business, it's hard. So everyone's always sort of really, we're pushing the whole time. So it's definitely something that we need to put plans in place to get to that our well-being is being looked at and everything like that for everyone. Because I like, as you say, it improves productivity and the general health of the company as well. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming in and talking to us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Zevo Talks. We would like to thank Seamus for joining us today. At such a young age, Seamus has played a role in making Ireland that bit healthier. Tune in next time to listen to more influential people making positive changes in Ireland.